Now, with that background of the department, now I will quickly come to career opportunities which are available to electronics and telecommunication engineer. In general, electronics and telecommunication engineers, they will get placed either in the public sector or in government sector or in private sector. If you want to get selected in the public sector, then you are supposed to appear for the GATE exam and you should have a very good score in the GATE exam. So the public sector companies like HPCL, etc., they will do the recruitment via GATE. Government sectors, there are many government organizations. Here some of the names are included: ISRO, DRDO, MTNL, BSNL, etc., who have the regular recruitment every year. So many of the jobs may be, particularly in ISRO and DRDO, it may be as a R&D engineer, etc. And apart from that, definitely the private sector, which are more dominant as far as recruitment is concerned. And those private sectors, they include the core electronics and telecom engineers, as well as many other domains. IT industries also, they come forward and recruit the students. Now, whatever I am telling you, that is a general discussion. So whatever list of industries I have mentioned here, I am not saying that all those industries are coming to FCRAT, but I am just trying to make the picture clear that when it comes to electronics and telecom engineer, these are the options available to them after completion, or when they come in the third year, or when they complete the final year of engineering. So electronics and telecom engineers, they can find a job either in consumer electronics manufacturing organization or telecommunication, 5G, 4G, etc., healthcare equipment manufacturing, automobile and other automation industries, and aeronautical and military fields. Some students, they may enjoy traveling and they may get involved in technical sales, production representative, product representative, etc. Some students, they may join for the management type of job. Some students, they may be interested in installation, maintenance and repair of electronic systems and equipments, etc. Now, the Computing Technology Industry Association, they regularly carry out survey every year, and based on that survey, they find out the top 10 emerging technologies, maybe more dominantly in the IT domain. So I'm just listing here what are the 10 emerging technologies they had listed for the year 2020 and for the year 2019. In the year 2020, artificial intelligence, it is at the top. So for this particular year and maybe in near future, the job prospects will be more dominant in those domains, and AI is at the top in all those domains. 5G technology, that is at the second level. Internet of Things, third level. Serverless computing, that is cloud computing, that is the fourth level. Biometrics is having fifth rank. Augmented reality and virtual reality is at sixth place. Blockchain, robotics, natural language processing, quantum computing, etc. And if you see the 2020 list and 2019 list, more or less both the lists, they are having similar domains which are dominating the past few years. IoT was at the third place in 2020, while in 2019 IoT was at the top. AI was at the second place. Now AI is at the top place. In 2019, robotics was there. Here also the robotics is there. 3D printing was there in the top 10. In 2020, 3D printing is not there. So with this one slide, what I'm trying to inform you, that as an electronics and telecommunication engineer, you can play an important role in many of those domains. So it should not be that, okay, they are the IT domains and what will be the role of electronics and telecommunication in that. It is not like that. In fact, I'm confident that as far as this first domain, artificial intelligence, is concerned, maybe compared to computer and IT students, electronics and telecommunication engineering students, they will play the more dominant role, because they already are aware about the signal and how the signals are processed, etc. So whatever background information is required about the domain, that background information is already known to EXTC students, and that is why Definitely, they can focus on artificial intelligence as one of the career options. 5G, definitely, it is totally belonging to electronics and telecommunication branch. Internet of Things, again, it is belonging to electronics and telecommunication, because here the sensor technology will come. Again, the communication across the sensors, that all thing will belong to electronics and telecommunication. Maybe cloud computing more dominant to computer IT domain. Biometrics, again, it is again related to image processing, then thumb impression processing, etc. So again, it is belonging to electronics and telecommunication. Augmented reality, virtual reality, yes, again, it is doing lots of processing of the images, audio, etc. So again, this particular domain also belongs to electronics and telecommunication. Blockchain, I can understand, maybe more to computer IT domain. Robotics, maybe mechanical and electronics and telecommunication. Natural language processing, yes, electronics and telecommunication, and quantum computing, again, across different disciplines. So these are the emerging domains which are the top 10 emerging domains as far as 2020 and 2019 are concerned. And you can very clearly say that out of those 10 domains, maybe 7 domains completely belong to electronics and telecommunication engineer. So if you talk about AI-based system, already we are using Alexa system, and their natural language processing comes into picture. So basically those AI systems, they're trying to mimic the behavior of the brain, the way we think. Now we want our computer also to think similar way and take the decisions. Here this picture shows about a driverless car, and you can see that that particular vehicle will be acquiring data from all the surrounding vehicles. It will be doing image processing around the area, and then it will be taking the decision which direction, at what speed it is supposed to move, etc. So this is again the picture of the driverless car. Big data, we know that companies like Amazon, etc., they have the lakhs of customers, and they acquire the data from each of the customer, they analyze that, and based on that analysis, they develop their business model. Even if you see the Google search engine, or if you see the YouTube video, whatever videos you more frequently visit, immediately next time when you log in, those videos will pop up. So that they are all AI-based technologies. So you, as an electronics and telecommunication engineer, you have a great role to play in all those systems. I'm just giving some few indicative examples of AI-based system. But the fact of the matter is, almost every domain, whether it is a biomedical, or whether it is industrial automation, or whether it is data analytics, in all those domains, AI-based systems are being applied. Now this picture shows about the 5G technology, VLSI technology, and embedded system-based industries. So 4G already is existing, 5G is expected to be officially available in a couple of years. And you know that within a minute or so, you will be able to download the complete movie. Now that is the speed we are expecting. The latency across the network, we are trying to reduce the power consumption of the 5G system. We are expecting it will be less than the 4G technology. And that is how the smart antennas at the device end and at the control tower end are being designed and developed. So lots of scope for electronics and telecom engineer to carry out research and come out with the 5G system. Definitely the designing of the integrated circuit, one of the very dominant area for electronics engineer. So not only designing, but testing and verification of those circuits, they all are the roles which an electronics and telecommunication engineer will play. Embedded system, nowadays, whatever system you talk about, in each and every system, microprocessor, microcontroller, they will be available. So it is all your role, designing of those circuits, testing of those circuits, development of those products. That is what is the role you can play. Augmented reality and virtual reality. So the complete business models will get transformed with the introduction of augmented reality and the virtual reality. Whether it is something like a marketing, so when it comes to marketing your project, the new residential projects are being now launched, and they are making use of those virtual realities, and they are making the customer to get a feeling how that particular project, before that actual project is constructed, they can get the feeling of how that particular project will be looking like, and they can get that experience without actually physically that project being developed. Similarly, in a big industry, the controlling of 40 equipments, etc., they can be controlled with the help of virtual reality. So this is some completely a new domain, which is something like coming up very fast, and lots of research is being carried out in this particular domain. Satellite and aviation industry, right from 50s and 60s, we have been launching the satellites. Initially in the geostationary orbit, now we are trying to occupy the low Earth orbit, and there are n number of applications of the satellite, whether it may be weather forecasting, or it may be to know in advance how much is the crop which is getting developed in a particular country, whether it is a military satellite which will be used for finding. Now India, China, the issues are going on, so the role of the satellite becomes very important. Which area, how many army people are present, and what areas are getting covered by whom. That all complete monitoring we can do with the help of satellite. Now this is a photograph of the space shuttle. Anyway, this program the US has stopped, but it's a great technology. Something like the satellites will launch into the space and they work without maintenance in space, maybe for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, etc. Similarly, the aviation industry, aeroplanes, this is engine of the aeroplane. Now they are so complex systems, and every complex system, they are all interdisciplinary system. So I'm not saying that here only electronics and telecom engineer will play the role. Each and every engineer, whether it is a satellite industry or whether it is aviation industry, all the branches of the engineering, they play a critical role. And that is what I had made it clear in the department presentation, that our students, they work in interdisciplinary team. So they do not just carry out the project which is related to electronics and telecommunication only, but they go out of box and they mix with the other branch students, because that is what is the need of the industry. All those industries, they are all interdisciplinary industries. Biomedical and healthcare industry, nowadays, without all those big equipments and scanning done, and based on that, the decisions taken by the doctors or the operations carried out, without those big equipments and without this artificial intelligence again being used in the decision-making process, everywhere this electronics is dominating. Consumer electronics, nothing is, I did not tell. Every day our complete entertainment industry is based on your TV and signal which is coming from the satellite, etc. Mobile phones, I did not tell. Nowadays we cannot think a life without a mobile phone, etc. At international level, at the airport, biometric security, and they all play very important role. And although current systems, they may exhibit 99.9% accuracy, but when it comes to something like international level, this accuracy of 99.9% may not be good enough, and that is why a lots of scope for research for further improvement in the accuracy for the biometric systems. Defense, industrial automation, and robotics industry. As you know, the fighter planes, now they all carry those guided missiles. So when it comes to guided missiles, without sensors and without exactly controlling the movement of the sensors, without having a proper communication with the central computer, you can't have all those advanced systems. Robotics, you can't have robotics without electronics and communication engineer playing a role. All the big industries, whether it is petroleum, etc., they're all having electronics engineers, and they play instrumentation engineers, and they play a crucial role. Electrical vehicles, definitely all those vehicles, they will be having embedded systems, and designing of those embedded systems will be a key important role played by electronics engineer. Drone industry, not only the electronics will come into picture, but communication among the drones, communication with the headquarters, all those aspects will come into picture. So I will briefly play one video which again confirms whatever I have been saying.
So why ECE? Okay. Electronics and Communication Engineering is popularly shortened as ECE. And ECE rightfully rules the industry. From mobile phones and wristwatches to washing machines, refrigerators, ships, trains, aircrafts, defense equipment, they're all electronics and communications, and has definitely revolutionized the way we communicate and maintain our lifestyles. So I invite you to this exciting field of study, to choose ECE, be a proud ECE student. Keeping in mind the merits and the huge scope for electronics and communication industry, most of the students prefer the field of electronics and communication engineering. The craze for the branch can be judged by some popular, frequently asked questions students post on social media platforms and elsewhere, like, can I get a job in NASA with a degree in ECE? How can ECE students from India get admissions into Ivy League universities in US for masters and research? How can a student of ECE of an average college get a good job? What are the prerequisites to get a top paid job for an ECE student? Is it possible for an ECE student to get a job in a gaming company? How can ECE students get a job in the IT industry? How can ECE students get a job in automobile domain? What are the top level exams ECE students can give to get a good job? I was interested in getting a job in Google and I am an ECE student. What should I do? What are the research opportunities for ECE students? So these are some of the responses, some of the questions and the attitudes which people, students who want to do ECE display on social media platforms. The peculiarity of ECE branch is that ECE in combination with other fields is magical, which in my opinion greatly enhances the value of that field. ECE combined with computer science and IT gives rise to powerful supercomputers, cell phones, home automation systems, and Internet of Things. ECE combined with mechanical engineering results in industrial robots which replace human labor and increase efficiency and productivity of the organization. Similarly, ECE with the help of computer-aided design can help civil engineers in architecture and construction. ECE combined with medical field gives world-class sophisticated medical tools, instruments, and machines for carrying out X-ray, MRI scanning, and operations with better accuracy and precision. Aerospace and ECE combined is a challenging field in space exploration, developing aircraft, spacecraft, satellites, and their communication systems. So after a major in ECE, one can easily migrate to other fields of one's passion and can work wonders in one's career. ECE subjects offer that flexibility. Students go crazy for ECE as it is an evergreen field because there is a continuous development of its components that have practical use in our day-to-day life. So I inspire you to be a part of this innovative branch with a scope to invent new appliances and gizmos and applications and make the world a better place.
Okay, so at the end, maybe one more slide, that if you're not just looking for the job, in that case, these are the two other options available. You can either be an entrepreneur, you can have your own company, or you can opt for higher studies. So particularly if you're planning to join teaching as a professor, in that case, you must complete your higher education, maybe post-graduation plus PhD, and then you can join university as a professor. So that is what I wanted to share, and that is what is the scope of electronics and telecommunication engineer. I would say electronics and telecommunication engineer is one of the best branch currently available, and as just in the video also it was stated, the electronics and telecommunication branch in combination with any other branch, that will be something like having excellent opportunities in the future. Thank you very much.